Hello everyone, and welcome back to Plot 33 Survival. The keen-eyed amongst you might have noticed that this is not our plot. But at the very beginning, it was. It all started here. Now, you might be wondering, why am I showing you this? Well, one of the reasons is to see how far have we gotten during this series. But the main reason is that today is the final episode of Plot 33 Survival series. But why? Why am I ending this series? The biggest reason is time. With the new Farming Simulator 25 basically just around the corner, and with my crazy schedule, I really only have time for only one series. And it was a tough decision to make. On which series should I continue till the release of FS25? And this one, unfortunately, drew the short straw. There is a bunch of stuff that we need to finish before we officially end this series, so today's episode is going to be a little different than usual. So, let's get to our real plot. Here it is, in all its glory. It does look different, and I have made a list of all the things we need to do today. And it goes something like this. We need to get all of the potatoes off of the two fields and get them turned into methane. We need to compact the chaff that we have left over from the corn silage, and we need to get it turned into methane as well. Actually, that is going to be the first thing that we are going to do, since it will take us a minute to finish fermenting. So, let's get the Zetor going, and we won't need the trailer at the moment, but we do need the leveler and the weight, which is hiding underneath the crates. There's still some chaff left over from the grass silage that was out of the silo when we tarped it over, so I'll push it into the other silo. We also have all the mushrooms and tomatoes that we need to sell, so they are on the list as well. There we go, we now have all the chaff in one silo, and all that is left to do is to get it all compacted. I think we won't be needing the leveler anymore, since we already have all the chaff in one silo, and we have the tedious part of getting the silo compacted up ahead. At least the pile isn't as big as it was last time. But there is nothing to it but to do it. So, I shall see you in a bit. The last two things that we will need to do today are to sell all the buildings and all of the equipment. And today we will also find out how much we earned throughout the series. I can't really say that it took longer than I thought, because I knew that it would take a long time. But still, it took a long time. But here we are. The silo is now covered and it has started to ferment. That is one thing that we can cross off the list. On to the next one, which in my opinion is going to be even more tedious. Clearing all of the potatoes. Although this is the last episode and we do still have a lot of things that we need to do, I'll make an exception from one rule. I'm going to allow myself to lease the potato collector, so that we won't need to use the skid steer to pick up all the potatoes. Oh, that was a bit of an oversight. It requires 90 horsepower, and the Z-Tor only has 72. Plus, they are 40 years old, so I think it only has 50. Well, there goes 4 grand to lease the harvester, and we will only use it for, I don't think, even an hour. That being said, I think we'll need to make another exception, and this a tractor. I already know which one I'll choose, because I was actually planning to get it real soon. And it is this one, the Deutz Agrostar. It does have 142 horsepower and only costs 28 grand. So at least we are going to get to test it out, if it would have been a good tractor for the farm. And it also has a 40 km/h gearbox. So the carting from and to the farm is going to be a lot faster than using the Z-Tor. Okay, I think we can now get going with the potatoes. Weird. Even though we have 50 horsepower more than required, it is still struggling for some reason. And I think I know what the problem is. It's the Combine Experience mod that is causing us troubles. So let me fix it.
5 minutes later.
Well, that was quick. We are already full. So we have a lot of potatoes that we need to get into the methane production. And yeah, the mod was the problem, and now we are flying through the potatoes and the hopper is filling up stupidly fast. And we are already full again. I think this load will fill the trailer. And I was right. We even have 37% left in the harvester. Well, let's get the load in the production, and I need to activate it as well. So let's find out how much potatoes have we grown in these two fields. So with that, the third field is almost done. We just have this pile over here that I made using the leveler, and unfortunately it is really difficult to pick up using the harvester. So we'll use the skid steer to load it later on. Off to the first field then. Is it just me, or did this field do way better than the last one? Like, I barely made it to the end of the row, and the hopper is already full. Huh. And I wonder, is it actually faster if I just take the whole rig to the methane plant, or is it worthwhile offloading the potatoes onto the trailer and then taking it to the methane plant? Considering that we can't get 2 full loads of the harvester into the trailer, it most definitely is faster to take the round trip and tip directly into the plant. So that is what I shall do from now on. A bit of a progress report. We have 33,000 liters of potatoes that are waiting to be processed. And we already have 21 tons of methane ready to be sold. And that is not counting the harvester load, so there's more like 38,000 liters of potatoes in the plant. And finally, the last load of harvester picked potatoes. Now, I'll admit, there's still some little piles of potatoes scattered around, but there can't be more than like 200 liters of them. So they can remain where they are. It's not worth the hassle of turning around 1,000 times. There we go, that's the harvester all empty, and it has done its job perfectly. So it can now be returned back to the dealer. But we still have a decently sized pile that needs to be picked up. But first we need to unload the trailer, and since we returned the harvester, we can now use the Deutz for all the running around jobs. Plus we leased it for an entire hour, and we used it for only half of it so far. That's the trailer empty. Only one more load, and then we can officially cross off the potatoes from the list. That's the pile on the trailer now, and I just remembered that we have a couple of crates that also have potatoes in them. So they need to go to be processed as well. The final tally of how much potatoes have we grown is somewhere around 100,000. Give or take a few thousand. And there goes another thing from the list. I wonder, how is the silo doing? Well, it's at 13%, so I doubt it will be finished today. So we will need to advance one more day today, so might as well do it right now. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. And with sleeping aside, let's see how the methane production is looking. Oh, it's full, so we need to sell it before it can finish. And in the meantime, I'll load the mushroom pellets, and I will most likely struggle a bit since we don't have the trailer configured the right way. I'll say it worked better than I expected or thought, and I can get to the farm shop faster since we now have a faster tractor. Or at least the gearbox in the tractor is faster. I actually don't know how I managed to cut trees with the skid steer in the first couple of episodes, because it is unbelievable how fast I can get to the farm shop now. But enough of me gloating about how fast this tractor is. I want to know how much are we getting from the mushrooms. About 8 grand, and I needed to intervene since some of the pallets tipped over. I'm pretty sure that we can now change the trailer into the bale transport configuration. There we go. Now loading the pallets won't be as difficult. On to the next order of business. Getting the tomatoes sold. And I have no idea how many pallets has it produced since we last emptied it. So, with that said, will the next one spawn in so that I won't need to move? Do I have the pallet too low? Nope, still not spawning. And now it does. As soon as I move, it spawns. Just great. I need to know, how many are there still to spawn? Well, that's a bit disappointing. Only one left. So it produced 7 pallets in, I have absolutely no idea what time span. But at least it is something. That are the pallets loaded, and we won't be needing the pallet forks anymore, so they can also get sold. Oh, and we still have the grab that we haven't used since the beginning, so it can also be sold. So, we have a full trailer that we can take to the farm shop. Again. Oh, and I might as well take the small front weight with us since it is in the middle of the road. Here we go. First off, the tomatoes. And I'm not surprised. We only got 1.8 grand for them. A bit useless if you ask me. But still, they were a great experience to diversify this series. And now, the first batch of equipment. And I need to be careful not to sell the trailer or the tractor, because we still need both of them. That's the grab, the pallet forks, and the weight all sold. And we got about as much money for them as we did for the tomatoes. Okay, what's next on the list? Since we emptied the greenhouses, we can now sell them. They really depreciated in value, didn't they? And we won't be needing the water tank anymore, and also the tent. Our small, humble abode. All sold now. Well, all that we have left is the silage. Has it fermented yet? Yes, it did. So let's uncover it and get it into the production. And I have a small trick up my sleeve that will make the transportation from the silo to the plant a tiny bit faster. I just hope it will work. Since we still have the loading wagon, can I pick up silage with it? Only one way to find the answer, by giving it a try. I just love when a crazy idea works. We are going to empty this pit so quick, it's not even gonna be funny. And it's almost perfect. One pass and the wagon is almost full. So, first load is going into the plant. And the second. And now the last and the least load of silage on this series. Actually, it's the last load that is going into the methane production as well. There we go. We will leave the plant to do its thing, and in the meantime, we can start loading the trailer with the equipment. A disclaimer first though. This part of the episode is going to contain a lot of usage of super strength. Viewer discretion is advised. The smaller stuff will go onto the trailer, since I really don't want to take 20 trips back and forth and only getting one piece transported at a time. Actually, the forage harvester can go onto the tractor since it does have the hitch on it, and we can hook the trailer to it. And pretty much everything else that is 3-point mounted goes onto the trailer. And the weight from the skid steer also needs to go on, because the skid steer has to pull the rake so that I won't need to return back. I'm pretty sure that is all now, so we can take it to the shop. Oh, and the big weight goes on the front of the Deutz. I forgot that the silage trailer has the rear hitch on it, so we need to do a little swapsies between the trailer. A few failed attempts later, we got them hooked together. Now we can finally go to the shop. Right after we get the leveler onto the trailer, because of course I forgot about it. Now we can for real go to the farm shop. I hope. Well, that's the majority of the stuff we have bought back where we got it. Right, now the skid steer will take the rake, and that's it, nothing else.
One eternity later.
Next up, the mighty Fiat, towing its trusty water tanker. And finally, the Z-Tor, with the mower and the loading wagon. And we will take off as soon as the methane production is done, turning silage into methane. It looks like we need to fast forward a bit, since there is still a lot of silage that needs to be processed. And there we go. The last of the methane can now be sold. 3, 2, 1. Sold. And there we go. Everything that we have ever grown has been sold. And now everything that we have ever built will also be sold. And I forgot that we had the silos. They really blend in, don't they? And now for the big one. Our latest expense is now gone. I won't bother with the crates, they were borrowed anyways. And the seeds are like worth 50 bucks. So this is it then. We have now left the plot for the very last time. I think it's only appropriate to take one last photo before we sell everything. There we go. I think I shall start from the newest to the oldest. And with that, there goes the bulk of the equipment. Now for the luckiest purchase we ever had, the Z-Tour. It was on sale for, I think, 3 days, and we were really lucky that it wasn't sold before we got the money. It was really a lucky day. The Fiat, or let's be honest, the Store. The first tractor that we got. The one that allowed us to really start farming. And we never got the cab for it, have we? And now, the one that has started all of this. The massive Ferguson. Really now, you need to fly over right now, this exact moment. Anger aside, the one that was with us from the very beginning and never left our side. One last drive, buddy. One last drive. I think you deserved a fresh coat of paint and a service before you go. And with that, 20 months and 7.2 hours later, you can finally go to rest. You will be missed. And that is it. The last thing is now crossed off the list. If you wonder, we managed to earn
That's the
just
pile
shy on the trailer now, and I just remembered that we have a couple of crates that also have potatoes in them on a single plot of land. I would want to take this moment
need
to go to be processed as well. Thank you to each and every one of you that accompanied me. The final tally
little
journey. How much potatoes
I hope you have enjoyed it
grown
as much as I
is
have.
somewhere
And I hope
around.
you will stick
100
around
thousands. Hello, everyone. Took me way too long, but we finally have the skid steer on the trailer. That's a lot of potatoes that we have produced on this tiny little field. Perfect. Now just need to... What the... How... What? Why did this happen? Did it... I'm actually lost for words right now. Did it just... Where did my crate go?